Wanted to bring you an update now on the high water situation that we have going on around the region. Most of the problems are beginning to subside, first and foremost, but 24 hours straight of rain has caused issues all around our region. We have actually an ongoing developing situation that most notably I want to bring you up to date about. It's a very young child. We're not exactly sure what's going on, but wanted to get you the very latest on what this is. This is in Pax, West Virginia. This is a photo we've gotten from our crew at the scene in Pax, West Virginia, Fayette County, West Virginia, where a mom has called 911 to explain that her child, very young child, we don't know exact details, was in a car that went into high water, and now the car is gone, the baby is gone, and they're not sure what's going on. There is an active search going on. And we believe the water has been subsiding in most places, but certainly not all. So high water is still a factor, and they may well be searching in high water for this young child. I wish I had more details on that. Our reporter's just getting there, just trying to clarify some of this. The sheriff, though, of Fayette County has given us a little bit of detail on it, saying that they first got the call about 8:30 this morning. It was along Paint Creek Road. The caller saying that an infant child was in a vehicle, and now they're unable to locate that infant child. The Fayette County Swiftwater Rescue folks and the Sheriff's Department folks are both out there trying to help. But again, Paint Creek Road is closed due to high water already, and now they believe they are searching for a young child. This high water has caused issues in all three of our states. Let me give you another example of what it's doing. This was not a massive flooding problem. It wasn't that kind of an issue. Just brought up enough high water to do things like this in Mingo County, West Virginia. This is near Ragland, not far from Delbarton, where a mudslide came off of a hill and wiped out. You can see that house. And the house got pushed off its foundation, crushing a pickup truck, part of a car. 3 houses were badly damaged, pushed off because of that. And that was what I wanted to go back to. It shoved a coal train off the tracks and tipped it over, dumping coal into the waterway, the stream right beside it. It was that powerful of a mudslide. Again, this is in the Ragland, Delbarton area of Mingo County. This happened about 8 o'clock this morning. And it's on top of the problems we were already seeing last night. Now, these look like happy, smiling faces of kids. These are students in Lincoln County, West Virginia, who got trapped by the high water. Their school buses yesterday, when they let out, couldn't allow them to go home. It wasn't safe. And so they brought in cots. You can see them bringing in chairs. They brought in food. And about 100 kids had to spend the night at Lincoln County High School. More about 60. And then about 100 kids had to spend the night in Duval grade school, because they couldn't find a way to safely get the kids home on a school bus. There was just too much water on the roads. And we had nearly 20 school systems either closed or delayed today because, again, they weren't going to run buses through so many closed down roads from high water. And we saw this high water. I've only given you a few examples here of more serious issues, but there was high water reported in all 3 of our states, in all areas of our region. This was not a West Virginia thing, even though I just showed you several West Virginia items. The water is not going to recede in a flash flood concept. We were trying to explain that on the news early this morning. Drew Narsutis, our meteorologist, was saying, and even Drew was at times getting caught saying the wrong thing, saying this flash flood. Nope, it's not a flash flood. Yes, it came at us fairly quickly, but a flash flood, by its definition, comes up quickly, drops really quickly. That's not what this is going to do. There's just too much water sitting in our creeks, in our rivers, and so it's not dropping very fast. And so we're going to see some of these roads covered with water for a longer time than a normal flash flood scenario would bring us. As a matter of fact, the Ohio River, the Kanawha River, the larger rivers we have, the Big Sandy River, they're not going to go into flood stage right now. We don't think that's the problem, but they've backed up enough that smaller rivers, wow, most notably the Mud River, that one seems to be one of the hardest hit of our region, which goes into places like Milton, West Virginia, are seeing bad backups. And it's going to be hard for that one to drain while so much else is draining into the Ohio, the Kanawha, the Big Sandy. And it's going to keep those backed up longer and keep roads closed longer and have the danger there longer. We do have the one serious scenario of this child who has disappeared in Fayette County, but other than that, we have not heard of any other people getting hurt or disappearing. But it's showing you, while this was not a severe event in terms of meteorological issues, we're still facing the brunt of some serious crises situations for a couple of families, Mingo County, Fayette County, but more nuisance problems of you just can't get there in other communities where roads are still covered by water. They just don't want you driving through high water. We don't either. Looks like you can get through it, and then all of a sudden you've become part of a news story because your car or your truck gets swept away. You didn't think it was that deep, and all of a sudden it was that deep kind of scenario. That's what we're facing, and it could go through this afternoon. Then leads into a whole nother problem here, and that is it's getting cold, noticeably colder. What's coming down now, very light rain for most of the region, if anything at all. But then we're going to see it freeze. It's going to get below the freezing point tonight, and whatever's on the roads, whatever's on your sidewalk, your driveway, is probably going to freeze solid. And we are looking at some dangerous conditions tomorrow morning when all of this water has not left us, but instead frozen on us. And then you're going to face a whole other issue. We were in shorts and t-shirts midweek. It was 75 degrees. We set a record one day this week for high temperatures. And yes, tomorrow we're talking, that stuff's going to freeze. It's going to get that cold. Weird week of weather and concerning for a lot of people. We're going to be back at midday on WSAZ. We're going to get you the latest on all of this, the serious scenario of looking for that very young child, a baby who is now missing in Fayette County, but as well as the mudslide in Mingo County and the high water issues across our whole three-state area. We hope you'll join us for that. Thanks for joining us on WSAZ Now.